All right. Should be looking good here. I think so anyway. Everything should be good. Good. All right, sweet. Live, everything seems to be working okay. Everything on my end on OBS is sounding good. So, welcome everybody. All right, been a little while. Sorry I missed last week. I got a little busy, and by busy, I got carried away, unfortunately, working on a project that is coming up in the works. I was working on a script, which is currently sitting at 4,709 words. So, you know, bit of a script, not nothing too crazy, I think. But I thought today we'd come back to it, do our normal weekly stream stuff, and I thought we'd celebrate it today and work on one of the most exciting models I've been excited to get my hands on, and that is the Cogfort. A model that my wife let me spend way too much money on. So, Luna, yes, I am back. Yeah, sorry about last week. I got a little carried away working on a script for a video, and it is just about done. It's about, I said, almost, a little over 4,700 words, so I am looking forward to it. But I thought I'd celebrate. I know it's not an Imperial Night, I know it's not 40k, so it could be technically heresy, but I thought we'd go ahead and get to work on the Cogfort today. Stolas, what's going on, my man? I am glad to be back. Let me just say, I have managed to work myself absolutely crazy. I actually was still working on the script literally seconds before I finally decided to go ahead and get into streaming today. So I've managed to work myself into a little bit of a headache, so bear with me here. But I'm excited to kick back, relax, and hang out with everybody. You helped a guy write a Warhammer song? Well, you can't bury the lead like that. You're gonna have to tell me. What's the Warhammer song about? I mean, obviously Warhammer. I understand that much. It sounds awesome, though. Hold on. I just realized something. What the fricker? Alright, give me 1 second here. I have to turn off my camera for just a moment here. Having a little bit of an issue with my camera. Why is it doing that? What are we doing here? What is going on here? There we go. There we go. That's better. I don't know why. All of a sudden it was stuck in ultra-wide mode, and I have to go into the app itself to fix it. So, my apologies, everybody. Nothing like a wizard stream where nothing goes according to plan. Am I right? That's usually how it goes. So it's about romance between an Adeptus Sororitas and an Eldari craft world. Ooh. Ooh. I'm in. You had me. Gonna adjust the camera here a little bit here. Since I was in ultra-wide mode, and I'm a dummy and didn't realize that. Just gonna have to... There we go. That looks a hell of a lot better. Holy shit. This normal can of Coke doesn't look extremely tall. What kind of genre is the song? I have to know what kind of genre it is. Also, I've got options here. This is a pretty substantial... Any of you have had the pleasure of looking at it. It's actually pretty thick for an instruction booklet. It comes with 4 different versions of the Cogfort to build, and I'm trying to decide which one I want. Because I really like flamethrowers. But I also really like cannons, and I don't know which one I want to do. Have I seen the new battle tracker thing on the app? No, I have not. I haven't checked out the app in a hot minute, actually. You thought I'd burn you for heresy? See, here's the thing. I have a little bit of a soft spot for the Eldar. In general, you know, Craft World, you know, they're okay. As long as it's not Drukari, it's fine. Plus, I'm also a bit of a softie for Warhammer Fantasy, and elven-human relations is a kind of a thing in Warhammer Fantasy. So, call me a progressive 40k fan, but not too progressive. So the question I want to look at here is, do I do the line breaker Cogfort that transports troops but has the cannon, or the flamethrower that has the cannon on the bottom? Decisions. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even read the rest of that. It's like new metal. That's what the guy's into making right now. That's fair. Well, it couldn't be Chukari. They're narcissists. You're not wrong. Nerdhammer. Will I be getting the Armageddon box? Unfortunately, no. I will not be getting the Armageddon box unless that one becomes available later down the line and I have the money. We're a little strapped for cash. I didn't get to talk about it since I didn't stream last week, but my wife and I bought a new car, and we don't have anything in the way of savings at the moment. And my wife let me buy this, and she let me buy this on our credit card, and it was a lot of money. So I don't know that I could get her to let me spend another $300 or so. Well, that's not what I wanted. I just spilled all that sprue all over the ground. That's better. Anyway, so I've got the City of Ash and the Cogfort. I'd love to get a hold of the Armageddon box, mostly because they got Firstborn Space Marine helmets. I know they're not actually Firstborn Marines, but I love Firstborn Marines, and I'd love to get a hold of it. But unfortunately, my wife, I don't think I could get it. I don't think she'd go for it anyway. As soon as he posts, I'll show it to you. Yeah, you'll need to. I want to get the link of that. I bet it would be a nice song. I am a fan, like I said, of Warhammer Fantasy, so Craft World Eldar are okay with me. And if the rumors are to be believed that Exodites are on the way, and I could see it, Space Wood Elves might be a thing here in the next 3 years, so I'm very excited for that. I think... Man, I don't know. I don't know which one I want to do. I think I'm going to go for the Conqueror Cogfort. I just like flamethrowers, so I think I'm going to go for the Conqueror. So that's what I'll do. Now, is there any... Just going to do a double glance, because I am notorious for starting the construction. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this one. I'm notorious for starting a construction and not reading ahead and screwing myself over, unfortunately. Oh, sweet, building the lighthouse. Firstly, final, you son of a bitch. No, I've told my wife this repeatedly. It's not a lighthouse. She can't tell me to build a lighthouse. I bought her a car. With her money. I bought a car with her money, to be fair. Let's see. We need to find sprue number A. Yes, I said number because I'm a smart man. There we go. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. By the way, I don't know if anyone's had a chance to look at it. These pieces are really highly detailed. Like, highly detailed. I'm actually very excited to get into working on this. TV, do you want to hear about our song about how awesome Abaddon is? You mean how gay Abaddon is? Yeah, I'd love to. Okay, jokes aside, Stolas, and I mean this actually legitimately, jokes aside, how devastated would you be? Because I'm hearing some serious rumors that he may not survive this edition as a character. And I don't know how I would feel about it, truth be told. As much as I want to joke and dunk on Abaddon, I keep hearing that there's a legit chance that he might get killed off this edition, and I don't know how much of a fan I'd be of that. C766. Okay. So there's no actual. Okay. So if that's A. Why do they hide the letters, do you think? Nope, it's about him being cool. That's funny. So that's A. So these are A. Okay, that's obvious, which I'm fine with. It's never gonna happen. That's fair. Listen. I don't know. I'd be a fan. Even though I'd love to see a trader get wiped off the board, it is Abaddon. He's been part of the setting for a long time. I'd be heartbroken to see even that stupid character take a hit to the face like that. Huron would be a good successor if Abaddon's killed up. That's what I keep hearing, is that they're building up Huron to replace Abaddon. We'll see. I don't know how much of that I necessarily believe, but I would be heartbroken, to say the least. Well, I'll say this, guys. I'm actually very excited to be back. I am also very excited for some new content to be released on the channel. I've got some really big projects in the work. I've got 2 in the works right now. I've worked on the scripts for them. I'll be doing some recording here today and tomorrow. And I want to say, hopefully within the next week, I could get them published. We'll see. That might be a little ambitious on my part, but I would love to see if I can get them published. They're going to be longer form content, so we'll have some nice long form videos for you guys to listen to or watch, and I'm all about it. I'm super excited. I'm going to be hush hush for now, but once I get them released, I will be letting everybody know. So, and hopefully my goal is to be able to put out something like that about once a week, once every other week. We'll see. We'll see how ambitious I can actually be, but I have been working my butt off. I've not done much building, I've not done much painting, I've not done much of anything but work on the scripts for those videos. I got one that's over 3,600 words and one that's over 4,700 words. Huron hangs out with demon monkeys, so he's basically 40k's wicked. I had not heard that analogy, but that is so true, actually. That is very true. I don't know how I haven't put 2 and 2 together on that. That is awesome. Okay, Huron actually has good reasons to hate the Imperium. Yeah, taxes. Taxes are cringe, everybody. That's all that matters. I think my biggest issue, and I don't know, maybe if I have 2 very prominent Chaos members of my community here, so I think my biggest issue with Chaos is I just don't like the Dark Gods. And I think Huron and the Red Corsairs are a great answer to that problem, where I could have as much or as little Dark God representation within my forces as I want. I don't think you could get away with that with Black Legion or any other Chaos successors, obviously, but I think the Red Corsairs do a really good job in that regard. Bad Ab War is a good story. I think everyone agrees with that. Yes. The Bad Ab War is fantastic. And then, of course, you have the beautiful and lovely Lamenters just getting their absolute teeth kicked in. Both ways. Both by the Imperium and then by Huron later. Which is, in my opinion, also pretty freaking hilarious. So, A8, which is this bad boy right here. I've also been listening to quite a bit of Horus Heresy narration. Audible. You don't get to pick who's in charge, man. Chaos Gods are the boss, and we all roll with it. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Except the Chaos Gods don't really like Abaddon because he won't commit. But you know what? How can I blame him? You know, I'm not into long-term relationships with dark entities myself. So can't really fault him for that. Got to start a little early today. Our puppy, Han, is getting neutered today because he decided he can't stop misbehaving. And we needed to get it done anyway, but it's a little earlier than we were originally thinking. So when he gets home, that'll be a lot of fun. Let's see, Luna says, I've been working on a game board as well for small 40K games using soundproofing tiles and clay. Oh, okay. Okay, well that sounds interesting. Well, if you get any pictures made, post it in the Discord. I'd love to check it out. I'd love to be able to just, you know, I've heard someone else I follow who does 40K related content. He does mini showcase Mondays, where on Mondays, because he does streaming, you know, every day. That's his job. He does mini showcase Mondays where he goes into his mini showcase and shows off all the stuff that his community's been posting. I think that's a really great idea. I might try to do something similar, although I don't think I can dedicate an entire several-hour stream to it. There's not that many pictures getting posted in the mini showcase yet. Yet being the operative word, but I'm excited nonetheless to do something similar, to celebrate the community quite a bit. Even if my community is filled with chaos-worshipping heretics. Also, my dad, very, very soon, Papa Wizard himself, will be buying his own Warhammer models, and we will be doing live streams together, where he will build and paint his models. Of course, it probably won't be on Wednesdays, or if it is, it'll be later in the day on Wednesdays, but we're definitely excited to get something done like that. I think it'd be amazing to do so. This is not the right sprue. I need B. Okay, we're looking at B10, this piece right here. Blood for the Blood God. I have to admit, there's an aesthetic to old Chaos Warriors. Very 1980s, but in a very good way. You could use a small section of your current streams as a showcase time. You know what, Luna? That's actually not a half bad idea. There's so many people posting so much creative stuff in the mini showcase. I'm genuinely blown away. I need to get back to painting. You know what? This is actually a great time to talk about it. I've been getting horribly frustrated. Last week I had a bit of a mishap, which has unfortunately set me back quite a bit on my drive to work on my minis. I need to just get over it, is really what it boils down to, but I'll show you what happened. So, I was painting my Knight Preceptor, and so far, I think it's coming along pretty nice. Obviously, there's some areas I need to touch up. I'll need to go over, obviously, here on the frame, and clear up some of the pink and stuff. There's a little bit of bleed through here on the black and the yellow, and there's some splattering going on here in the yellow that really got to me. I had a clog with my black airbrush, and it went into the yellow. So I'll need to go back over the yellow and fix that. I also had a break happen with the chain down here, and I had to fix that, and that really got to me. And I still have to get the lower legs done, obviously. There's some patches I've missed in here that the putty covered up too much, so here on top of the head, for example. But the carapace, which still has quite a bit of airbrush putty on it. Oops, I thought I removed all that. That's not good. Oh well. I think it looks really nice, honestly. The color combination looks really good. But the frustration I've run into with my black and yellow color scheme has just unfortunately hit a boiling point. So I took a bit of a break, and I'm just waiting for that frustration of mine to pass. It's one of those things where I couldn't, like, I can't force myself to work on it because I don't enjoy it when I'm forcing myself, and it's just one of the things I have to wait for it to come to me. But I feel like I'm getting back to it. So far, though, what do you guys think of the color combo? I think it looks good. The color combination itself looks really, really good. Of course, the first person to make a House Baratheon joke gets a cookie, because everyone always says that. Everyone always goes, "Oh, just you look like you're a fan of House Baratheon," and that's fair. It's fair. Skylar Productions, hey, welcome to the stream. I'm actually getting to stream this week. I've been really busy as of late, so, but yeah. So that's the Preceptor so far. I think it looks really good. The glow effects on this side has got all this white particling that I really am frustrated by, but I don't think it's the end of the world. The white ink or the white paint got a little clogged here. Fuck you, Final. Final says, if you start working on another script, you should get back to painting in no time. Well, that's the problem, Final. Now I'm procrastinating from painting by writing scripts, and I've written over 7,000 words in the last week. But I do have two different scripts done now, which is nice. You already said that in another stream. Thank you, Stolas. I can always count on you to say the unspoken things. But yes, I really think the color scheme's coming along really, really nicely. I have learned my lesson, however. I thought that I would be able to go ahead and put the armor plating on and I shouldn't have an issue, and then paint the knights themselves with the armor plates already on. Now, to the people who told me I should not put the armor plates on, you are in fact correct. I should not have done so. However, I will say this, if I was doing a standard pose, it wouldn't have been a problem. But because I can't say, like, I can't just follow the instructions, I have to do weird stuff to my knights to make them look really, really cool for the table. These unique poses kind of get in the way, no matter how cool they look. I don't know if I got to show this off last stream, but I ended up making a stand to go in here under the toes of the knight, so it was actually far more stable. Well, anyway, so now it doesn't wobble as much when you shake it. Now it actually is relatively stable. So I think it looks really good. The stance, everything, it's very eye-catching. The problem is that, well, the problem is that it's just too intricate of a stance to be able to paint with the armor plating already on it. But that's okay. It'll work it either way. Skylar Production says, why not both? That's fair. That's fair. But my collection is growing. I actually have some supplies. Very cool stuff. On the Knight Errant, I have to work out a new paint scheme. So I bought a whole bunch of different sizes of masking tape so I can get my idea done. And I think it'll look really, really good. So. And yeah, so my dad will be joining me tomorrow. Not on stream, but my dad will be joining me tomorrow. We're actually going to do some audio recording together for one of my video projects that I've been working on, which I'm very excited for. I cannot wait for you guys to see what I've got in the works. Everyone tells me I've been off way more than I can chew with what I want to do production schedule-wise. They're probably correct. They are probably correct. But I think it'll be a lot of fun if I can make it happen. So, gonna be a little hush-hush on it for now until I have a couple of videos ready for posting. But I am super, super excited to check out these videos with you guys. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. How's everyone else doing today? Let's see, Skyline says, also, I cried because Ravenwing got a huge buff and now everyone and their mommy's taking Ravenwing. Rip my niche army. When you play a niche army, the real issue here has very little to do with the nicheness, right? Eventually, you're going to get buffed. You're going to get buffed, and everyone's going to want to take it, and then people are going to accuse you of meta chasing, and that is the most annoying thing in my opinion, right? There's a channel, I'm sure you're familiar with them, they just hit 100,000 subscribers. Paul is bad at stuff. He plays Ravenguard, and he made his own successor chapter, and he loves Centurions. And he made an entire army of Centurions, and then out of nowhere, they released a new detachment that makes Centurions actually meta, and everyone was running it. And he was like, I was playing this before everyone else thought it was cool. And now here I am, having to justify my decision for wanting to play this army. He's like, no, I promise, I'm not meta chasing. You know, that's how I felt about Knights. I didn't get to play when Knights were out, but with the index at the top of the edition, but Knights were really, really powerful for quite a long time. And then they nerfed Knights, and now I can turn around and say, hey, I'm not playing Knights because they're good. I'm playing Knights for the love of the game. But if I got my army together 6 months earlier, whoo, that would have been hard to explain. No, I promise, I'm not meta chasing. See, Luna says, I've been melting because it's been really hot in the UK here recently. I'm sorry to hear that, Luna. I heard there's a bit of a heat wave going on. I'm just glad to live in the blessed US of A with my air conditioning because it is hot and humid outside. Of course, insert joke of Southern State here going, you don't know what humidity is. But I tell you, humidity is awful. I'd rather be hot than hot and humid. It's terrible, truly. $22C, is that what it is? Is it 22 Celsius out there? I don't, what is 22 Celsius? That's 76 degrees Fahrenheit, is that right? I'd look it up, but I don't have my phone. My phone is currently my camera. Define really hot. Hi, Mom. Say hello to Space Mom, everybody. Are you telling Luna to define what really hot is? Yeah, about that. Yeah, so what? Yeah, so 76. Yeah, 76, you know, for me, I get kind of grumpy when it gets over 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So, what is that? Let's see. 20? 33? Jam, what is that? What is it, 90 something? I think that's 90 something. What is it, 91? Or is it high 80s? Damn, I can't ever remember my Celsius conversions. The one time I need my baking class in knowledge that I learned oh so many years ago, I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit. Yikes. America just gets heat that I think would wilt British people. Can't believe we're hosting a World Cup in the summer. I can believe we're hosting the World Cup in the summer. Only because if I remember the story correctly, the United Kingdom government was putting out health advisories for both players and fans going to World Cup matches here in the United States, and that the English football team had to train in specially converted chambers to match both the temperature and the humidity of the United States, and they're still like just floundering in the heat. I feel bad. I feel really bad. And the worst part is I keep seeing memes of everyone going, so who's going to tell the British that this isn't even the full might of American summers yet? This is preheat. It's not pleasant for sure. And being stuck at 91 degrees with no freaking That's what gets me. I love the topography and the history of the United Kingdom, but I don't know that I could live in a world without centralized heating and air. Okay, trim that down. All right. So we put that in there, and that slots in just like that. Okay. And then the next part is, so this is going to be the top of the gate, and it wants the nub that sticks out. So this little piece here along the side, kind of like that. Okay, yeah, all right, that'll work. Yeah, it's not pleasant. I couldn't imagine being stuck at 91 degrees without any kind of air conditioning. Ugh, that just sounds awful, Luna. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through that. Just gonna hold this here. This is an awkward angle for that, but I think it'll work. Just touch up that gap a little bit with some fresh Tamiya. AC really is a godsend. I don't know why it's not more common in England. I'm sure there's cultural reasons for that. I'm sure it's great in the winters, though, when it gets cold. Like, the houses are designed to retain heat. Ugh. Praise the Omnissiah for the almighty air conditioner. Yes, yes. The almighty air conditioner indeed. It's also 50% humidity. Jesus, Luna, that is awful. Yeah, medium humidity like that is not fun when you're that hot. It just makes the heat that much worse. What about those guards standing outside all day in furry hats? I feel bad for them. Yeah, well, yeah. I feel bad for them in general. Have you seen like some of the videos of tourists going up to them? I feel terrible for some of those guys. The amount of obnoxious BS that they got to put up with on a daily basis. Oh, it might help if I cut the sprue gates off of this. There we go. Okay. I saw the Beefeaters comment still. I'm not entirely sure what that's in reference to. Is that what the guys in the furry hats are called? Yeah. Well, I mean, could you imagine having to put up with obnoxious tourists from across the world all the time? I can't even work in a department that has to work directly with customers all the time. I've done my bid for King and Country on that. I'm good. I have no patience. And they had obnoxious people all day acting like, well, I mean, only the viral videos have them acting like hoodlums, but still, it can't be fun. So, yeah, my heart goes out to them on that one. Yeah, is that what they're calling? I'm not sure I remember that right. I don't know. All I know is I eat beef. Does that count? Am I a beef eater at that point? I guess by the technical definition of the term, I would be, but... Well, so we've got some actually rather exciting news. So we touched on it earlier. They've got, apparently, some Exodites are in the work. Now, I heard a while back that the Exodites were getting a kill team. Now, of course, that's not that big of breaking news. I don't have any contacts in GW. Most of that reporting comes from people like Valrak, who handles a lot of the Warhammer rumors anyway. Primarily 40k rumors. But one of the things that I found rather interesting is that apparently it's not just a kill team that's in the works. It is a full entire army range for Exodites. And I remember hearing way back when, there will be an entire new resculpts of all the older models for all the different Eldar forces. So Dark Eldar, Exodites, obviously who've never gotten models, Craft World. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would love to see something like that. I hope it comes to pass. We'll see. But I think that'd be amazing. Let's see. Yeah, we are at a point in history where tourists are being arrested for acting like American, and everyone knows what that means. Yeah, well, the problem is that we say acting American, right? And I yes, you're right. Everyone knows exactly what that means. The problem is it's only the people who go viral for it. You know, widely, a lot of American tourists are really respectful in the countries that they go to, but you always have the loud minority of people who go out there and act like an ass and then make the entirety of a culture look terrible. You know? And it saddens me that that's even a thing that has to happen. Because, you know, like, people could be respectful. You know, you don't have to act that way, but they don't have any manners. They act entitled, and I just hate that. I really do, because I know how many Americans go to Japan and don't act that way. You know, like, or people who go to you know, insert country here. You know, we could talk about the UK, we could talk about Turkey, we could talk about any tourist country nation that you could go to. And there are plenty of Americans that act not only like responsibly, but very respectfully to the local culture. And then you have a large group of people who act like hoodlums and ruin it for the rest of us. It is what it is, but it really annoys me to no end. There's just so many of us. Even if 1 million Americans are terrible, that's still 1% of our total population. Well, within a population of 330 million, that's like less than 1/3%. But you're exactly right, though. There's just so many, right? And I'm not even saying that to be pedantic. It proves your point even more, right? If 1/3% of people acted like hoodlums across the world, then it would still make all of the entirety of our country look bad. And I agree with you. It is the minority that ruins it for the majority. All right. So I've got a tiny gap in these stones here along this edge. I'm trying to fill in with a little bit of sprue goo. I've actually had people ask me what this is, so if you've not heard of sprue goo, let me just go ahead and let you know. This is an old bottle of Tamiya Extra Thin that I've had for years. And what I do is when I have an empty sprue, I cut bits off of it, so like these bars along the outside, for example, or these little spokes that come off the middle here. And I ended up just throwing it into this old bottle of Tamiya until it thickened up. And what you get is this nice, thin plastic paste that you can brush on with the brush applicator, and when it dries, it turns into regular old plastic. So you brush that on, and then you take your regular brush applicator from regular old Tamiya, and you brush it over to thin it out, and once it thins out, it kind of fills in those cracks, and you don't have to worry about them anymore, which I think is really, really nice. Really, really nice. Final says, have you tried playing out the Skitarii yet? I've been thinking about getting them later. I have. Have I tried? No. I really, really want to. I really, really want to. So the Skitarii class came out, but I don't have any money to get it at the moment. I'm gonna wait till Friday to get it. But I do have a funny story. I joined a match yesterday, right when I got home from work. I was playing as my zealot, trying to level up my other classes on Darktide, which I've been having a blast with the most recent updates on, by the way. And I was the only one not Skitarii, and I had them shit-talking me the entire time in game chat, in the chat, the actual text chat on the game. They were like, laughs in binaric, get a load of this meat bag, the Omnissiah has not blessed this one. I mean, it was hilarious. I was just getting roasted in universe. And they absolutely carried my ass. Holy moly, that class looks like a lot of fun to play. I love the clips I've seen of it, the galvanic rifle, futuristic 40k version of the M1 Garand. Sign me up. I am in. I have not got it yet. I will be getting it Friday on payday, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait to get my hands on it. Mom says, a little off topic, I know, but how is Han Wayne Gacy? Well, Han is, a terrorist, as always. We dropped him off this morning. They said they were going to give me a call when he was ready. They said if I don't hear from them, pick up for all animals after their procedure is 4:30, so I can go and just pick him up whenever. after that, and they closed at 6 today. Um, they are a little concerned with his weight, that he's going to need heavier dosage just due to the dog breeds of Malamute, German Shepherd, and Aussie that he has. So we're getting extra doses of Trazodone. They're really concerned because he's a very hyperactive dog. He's got a lot of energy, so they want to make sure that we keep him pretty sedated, keep him pretty calm, lock him in his cage, and then if he needs to go outside, we take him out on a leash. So we'll see how he does with that. Well, your dog is a clown monster. No. So the nickname came from my sister. She called him Han Wayne Gacy because he was terrorizing her house and acting like a little psycho. So instead of calling him, I call him Han or Honorby, or Honathan was what my wife called as his full legal name. And then my sister called him Han Wayne Gacy, and the nickname just stuck. So it's funny because he's a bit of a terrorist sometimes, but that is all my sister's doing. I prefer Honathan personally, but we'll see. You definitely need to know what dose of Trazodone he has. Well, as soon as I know, I will let you know. He's going to have a pretty decent sized one. He's probably going to have him for several days worth because, like I said, they were pretty concerned about his hyperactivity because he was just all over the place. And that my wife has not been leash training him as much as I thought she had, or it's been too long, because he was yanking on that leash and choking himself out as much as he possibly could with me. And unfortunately, they have cats that kind of wander around our pet and our vet, not our pet. And we have cats here, and Han, when he sees cats, he thinks toy, because he plays with my wife's cat that she brought when we got married. His name's Trip Hazard. They play all the time, and they play pretty rough. And so I was very concerned with him going after any of the cats in the vet, because he'll just think like, hey, this is something that looks like my other brother. I can play with this. And I don't think those other cats would have been very appreciative. So I let them know about that. And it's like, listen, if he goes after a cat, he's not trying to hurt the cat. He's never hurt an animal a day in his life, but he plays with cats at the house, and they play pretty rough. So I have a feeling they're going to have him pretty heavily dosed when I go pick him up later today. To catch everyone up, in case anyone wasn't there for that part, or in case I just glossed over it, my puppy Han today, he is getting neutered. He's been very hyperactive. He's not been getting aggressive, but he's got a lot more energy, and he can play pretty rough when he wants to, and we're a little concerned with the kitten in the house that might be an issue. So by neutering him, hopefully we'll get some of that excess energy and excess aggression out of his system. That's kind of the plan. We were going to wait until he got a little bit older, but it's actually becoming a little bit of a concern with him as of late. Just wondering if his dose is higher than yours. Well, that's fair. That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, that's why my puppy's nickname is Han Wayne Gacy, because my sister's very creative and called him a psycho, and that's what stuck, apparently. All right. Let's see. So, looks like these slots go into that. Yeah, like that. Okay. So that's how they sit together. Fair enough. Lady Valreth, well, firstly, thank you for swinging by and saying hi. I am actually constructing my Cogfort for Age of Sigmar. I'm actually very excited to get to work on it. I have not done anything with it yet. I was saving it for a special occasion, and I am celebrating because I just finished 2 massive scripts to for videos that I've been working on. Over the last week, I've typed over 7,000 words, and since I missed last week's live stream because I was too busy working on that, I was like, hey, you know what? I'll celebrate coming back by working on my Cogfort, which I'm actually very excited for. And I'm glad. Thank you. It is good to see you as well, as I already said, but I'm glad to see you're doing all right. I watched a couple of your live streams, and you had a shorter video. Was it going over a magazine, if I remember correctly? It was very good to watch those, and good to see you working on your Drukari. I wish I could catch you earlier and watch your full live stream, but we'll get there eventually, I promise. I promise. Oh, I need C. Let's see. The problem is, there's so many sprues in this thing, I get confused on which one I need. Final Gaming is, I hope, is still lurking out there. He's been posting a lot of great content here as of late. He's also been busy as hell. I have not seen him very much these last few days. What faction? Cities of Sigmar. Although I think technically this kit can go with any faction. I will be using it for my Cities of Sigmar army that I am working on, which I'm actually super, super excited to continue to work on. I think between this and the Spearhead box, I have just under 1,000 points worth of models now. I need to get a few more kits, obviously. I'm thinking I want to go pretty cavalry heavy with this, pretty elite infantry. So I've got the Knight Gallants kit that comes in this kit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and also get some Knight Cavaliers, and I think I'm gonna get the Marshal, Cavalier Marshal, along with words are hard, along with some extra Fusiliers and stuff, and finally finish out my Cities of Sigmar army, because I really like the aesthetic. Of course, I get made fun of because, you know, I'm a huge dwarf guy and I've not done anything with dwarves. Because I have some Caradhrins, but I don't have a full 2,000 points of Caradhrins yet or anything like that. So, hopefully I can get to working on some Caradhrin Overlords on stream as well, because I've had some nice people send me some Caradhrin models to go along with my force. So, I'm actually really excited to see what that looks like. Still, it says 7,000 words, but it's just all work and no play. It makes Wizard a dull boy. You're not wrong. I've been really busy, and I haven't had much time to relax outside of working on that. Or I went to dinner with my folks last night, so that was always really fun. But I'm really excited to get to work on it and to actually start recording and whatnot, because I think it'll be a blast. I think you guys will really like it. I'm really hope you guys do. Like I said, it has been fun to work on the scripts, but I need to get down and actually do some recording. So, Lady Vow says, yes, the Combat Patrol magazine subscription. You want Grand Cathay and Chaos. You know what? I can understand that. I really want to get dwarves. I think dwarves. I love dwarves, and I love Warhammer dwarves especially. But my first ever faction I was ever introduced to, that actually introduced me to Warhammer as a whole, was in the Empire of Man, and I really want to get an Empire of Man army going, so I cannot wait. Soulblight Gravelords are your faction for AOS? You know what, Mike, a good friend of mine, Edward, who tends to lurk in these, it goes by Snow Pirate. He has Soulblight Gravelords. You see, my buddy Josh, who runs the channel Spruta Saga, he Spearhead. So my Spearhead was going to be Caradhrin Overlords. And I still have it. I still need to finish it. It's mostly done. But Caradhrin Overlords... why did I say Caradhrin Overlords? Part of the idea is that we were going to do an escalation link together. And so my wife, his fiance, then now wife, and Edward all got involved in this escalation link. So we're going to build full armies eventually of our factions. The catch is, not only are you going to build your faction, but also it has to be custom. You have to do a homebrew, which I think is rather exciting. So we're making our own. I've got my own City of Sigmar, my own Carriage and Overlord Skyport. My wife has her own Ideneth Deepkin, so that's what she went with. Snow Pirate built himself some Soulblight Gravelords, which I'm very excited. He's got a really strong concept for his, if he ever works on the lore. It's just, they're just so cool. I also really like the Death factions. I like Nagash. I like the Undead. Fun fact, I love the concept of the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, but I hate the models for the Bone Reapers. But I had an idea, since the Bone Reapers are basically the undead version of Stormcast Eternals, to take Stormcast models and kit bash them with Soulblight Gravelord skeletons and make undead Stormcasts, basically. And I thought that would just look really good on the tabletop. So, it's in the works. It'll be one of those things that takes me a very long time to put together, because that will be expensive to put together, but I think it'll look great when it's all said and done. So, I've also been doing a lot of research on the world and history of Age of Sigmar, because, like, wink wink, nudge nudge, massive project in the works, might have something to do with that. So, let's see. Lady Valor says, I did buy the Scaventide box, but I intend on getting the 2 starter boxes so I can build mine as armies. That's fair. That's fair. I'm in. Oh, hold on. Oh, it goes like... Okay, so I'm doing it on the wrong side. Aha! That's how it goes together. Okay. See, this is what I get for not paying attention to instructions. Let's see. Luna says, I don't play AOS, but if I did, I'd probably go for Maggotkin, as I already have Great Unclean One and some Nurglings that give me 500 points, I think. To be fair, the Maggotkin as models look fantastic. You want to talk about... Here, Stolas, if you're still here, I got something for you. You want an even better version of Abaddon that I think is absolutely sick? Archaon the Everchosen. Look him up, especially the model. But Archaon the Everchosen, that's how you do Abaddon. They nailed it with that character. Oops. My mother, Space Mom, says, oh, off topic again, but you will not believe what I found at your pop's house today. Mail-in ballots for voter registration? What did you find? I gotta know now. Lady Valvrith Games says, well, Spearhead magazine will be out next year, so check it out. Yeah, I'll have to. God, I can't. This is gonna look so good. The detail on these rocks, it's really hard to see. The rocks, the metal, the wood. This just looks really freaking good. This is gonna be such a cook-ass model to see. Miri, what's going on, Miri? How you doing? It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Mostly because I didn't stream last week, and I'm not in the Discord when there's an appropriate hour for Germany. The original Star Wars trilogy box on VHS, that is awesome. Holy crap, talk about a little piece of history. Holy shit. Remember finding the old 25th anniversary Star Trek commemorative calendar. I think it was like 1994, I think? 96? I don't know. It's not a calendar you can use anymore, but it was still really cool. Dying in a heat death in the next days. Please don't die, Miri. Listen, come to America, buy it. If you can survive the American heat. It's pretty warm in the South right now. Pretty darn warm in the South. And I'm not saying that as a brag to our European counterparts. Aha! After that, I can figure out painting. That's fair. As long as you don't die, you can figure it out. I've got faith in you. Oh man. Anyway, it's been a good time. I'm actually really looking forward to. Is anybody here at all? I know AOS isn't everybody's main cup of tea. Everyone usually comes here for the 40K content. But is anyone checking out the GW summer preview show on Friday, 2 days from now? I'm actually rather excited to see what they announce on the summer preview show. I have my sneaking suspicions. Or move up north in the USA. You know, you're not wrong, Skylar. My Alaskan cruise, it was so gorgeous up there, just temperature-wise. I could have lived up there and died and just been happy. Well, I wouldn't have access to good internet, or there's internet as good as I have now, and Warhammer would be a little hard to get into, but still. Valrat says the premium... Lady Valrat's game says the premium models are all big giant models and are big centerpiece models. Is that for the Spearhead magazine thing, or are we talking about the summer game, like, preview game show? Tomorrow, 2 days from now. Man, this is just the front piece of the tower, by the way. They get a preview show? Yeah, they got it coming on Friday, is what they're doing. They're doing big announcements. They're doing announcements for the old world, which I'm really excited to see what they do. I really want to see some cool stuff in the old world. But they're doing old world, they're doing AOS, 40K, Necromunda, Kill Team. I literally think it's every game system that GW has except for Warcry, which is the shittier version of Kill Team, and Lord of the Rings, which I forget even exists. Let's take a look here. So this is my knight so far, and this is just the tower of the Cogfort. Wow, this is actually going to be a really big model. I mean, just to consider it here, the base for the Cogfort is that circle, and that is my knight errant on top of it. This is going to be a massive, massive model here. Cornelius Dark says, I'm working on Necromunda right now. Well, that's awesome. Firstly, what gang are you playing? I gotta know. All right, are we going with, was it House Caster? House Caster, I think, is my favorite one of them all, of all the model ranges. I really like Caster. And then you have, was it the Palatine Enforcers or what? Oh, man, those, I think those models, I think it's the Palatine Enforcers, but those look really good, too. Really, really good. Okay, so for the next couple of pieces, I require... Let's see here. House of Shadow. I think I know House of Shadow. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the Spearhead magazine from Hatchet Partworks. Okay, okay. Yeah, I want to check it out. You usually do some pretty good coverage on stuff like that, so I will have to check it out. It says it comes out next year. I'm in. I'll have to check it out. But see, House of Shadow, I'm pretty sure I know House of Shadow. Listen, Necromunda has some underrated models, in my opinion. But as a generalized 40K player, they're underrated because they could be really cool models to throw in 40K. Oh, you're doing House of Shadow and a shitload of terrain, you say? Well, is that the scientific metric? A shitload? Is that right? That still sounds awesome. Oh, man. Like I said, Necromunda's got some really good sculpts. The squat models, I forget what they're called, the prospectors, they look really, really good. I really like them. I really like House Caster. I don't think there's a single bad model in the Necromunda model range in terms of sculpts. And I hear Necromunda as a system is actually just really good. I've not played Necromunda, so I can't make any comments there, but I hear it's actually a lot of fun and a little bit impenetrable. There is a metric fuck ton. That is correct. That is correct. That is, I think, if we're doing... Okay, hold on here. If we're doing a conversion from the... Fuck ton. That's an actual measurement? Oh, Jesus. Yes, next year, and I think I sent you the link. You know what? I'm sure you did. I'll pull it up. I think it would be in my Discord messages. I'll have to check it out. Because I remember you sending me some of those magazine links, and there was some really good stuff in there. Okay, well, you can't just tell me that there is a measurement called a fuck ton. I need to know how much a fuck ton is now, Miri. You've now piqued my interest. Okay, all right. You know, I have enough European viewers that kind of watch my streams every now and then. So I have an actual interesting historical fact for you all. So, fun fact. So, have you guys ever wondered why America has not yet adopted the metric system, and why you think that America is backwards because we haven't adopted the metric system? On a show of emojis in the chat, does anyone ever wondered that question? Because it's actually there's a legitimate story. There's a link again for you. Thank you very much, Lady Valrith. I appreciate that. Well, it turns out that the Americans almost adopted the metric system long before the British ever adopted the metric system. So what happened was we had pretty close ties to the French, which at the time the French system, you know, for the metric system was beginning to get adopted across the world. And America was starting to adopt the metric system, and they had actually sent to the United States the mother weights for the kilogram, the gram, and all of that, which was being sent. And what ended up happening was there was a freak storm that blew the ship off course, and instead of landing anywhere where it needed to, it landed near the Caribbean because of this storm. What ended up happening from there was this storm. When it finally abated, they started to adjust course when they were attacked by British privateers. And the British privateers sunk the ship along with the weights that was being sent to the United States, which would have allowed us to accurately adopt the metric system, which was like the kilogram, the gram, and all of that. So, in reality, the reason why America does not use the metric system today is a combination of geographic isolation from the main centers that the metric system was originally adopted in, and the British attacking American ships and sinking them, which carried one of the first sets of the weights for the metric system in the world. So really, it's the British's fault. There you go. You learned something new today, unless you already knew it, like Lady Valrith. Because of the Brits, man. That's why we threw their tea in the harbor to begin with. They just don't want us to have any fun in the United States. So now here we are using the dinky old imperial system that the British created. British or the English? Well, technically, both. Because it was privateers that were being employed under the British, but technically it was the King of England that signed the writ. But it was... Brits and English are very different things. You're not wrong. English are specifically the country of Great Britain that held the dominant monarchy at the time that ruled over the multiple kingdoms that would become the United Kingdom, but it was, which is ultimately what the British are, because it's all of the denizens of the British Isles. But it was the King of England, Scotland, and Wales at the time that had hired the privateers that attacked American ships. So, both? I'm looking for A13, and this is not A. That would be the problem. Educated. Tell me then. No and yes. The U.S. does use the metric, but only for guns and drugs, and for military measurements. That is another thing. We also use it for military measurements. Yeah, the United States military utilizes the metric system to measure distances as its universal languages to share with all of its NATO allies as well. Oh, so the Americans defeated the Imperium. I agree that the C makes way more sense than F, but I still struggle to wrap my brain around it. Well, see, the problem is like from a scientific point of view, Celsius does make perfect sense. You see, Celsius measures the temperature based upon the states of water, but Fahrenheit is a more natural, intuitive sense of hot and cold in relation to humans. It has very little to do with water. The metric system, like the meter, for example, people always says it makes more sense, but it's one millionth the distance from the North Pole to the equator as it passes through Paris, which is another flaw for the metric system, is that you're going to ask Americans to adopt a French system. Come on now. That's a joke, by the way, because I don't like the French. Well, I do. It's just the meme at this point. Fahrenheit is absolutely not intuitive. Well, if it's 70 degrees outside, yes, it is intuitive. It's not intuitive to somebody who hasn't grown up around the metric system, but when it's hot but not overly hot outside, 20 sounds cold compared to 70. We got one person in the office that freezes under 30°C. Okay. .30°C sounds pretty warm to me. But that's because I understand the general relations of temperature in relations to Fahrenheit. I stress this again. General. I'm not as intelligent as I may necessarily come across. I'm pretty stupid. I posted a short on another Black Legion squad leader. Ooh. Alright, well, I'll have to check that out. Even if it is filthy, disgusting traitors and heretics, I'll have to check it out. Kelvin is used more in science and is based on how much atoms wiggle. Yes. Well, that's kind of... Yes. Kelvin is absolutely based upon the movement of atoms and the generation of friction by atoms. It's also why Kelvin has the only one that has absolute zero. There's no temperature colder than it. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should just stop the whole Fahrenheit versus Celsius debate, and we should all just adopt Kelvin, and that's what we use as our temperature outside. Who's with me? Let's join the Kelvin revolution. Let's go. Okay, so I've got these done here, and it really doesn't seem to matter which way, but I need to glue these to the palisades. So I require A14, which is this big boy right here. Okay, now tell us about the British history of the measurement systems of bits and bobs. Listen, I need someone to explain to me British currency, because, my God, I don't think I'll ever understand. British currency scares me. But that's as a pretty dumb American. So, yeah, I'll take that for what you will. There we are. This model is actually going to be pretty freaking huge. I know the English dude I talk to uses stones as a system for how much he weighs. Yeah. I can at least confidently say I only ever use pounds. Far too many pounds. That's just because I'm fat. Though 0C is about 273 Kelvin. Exactly. Let's start. Let's just adopt Kelvin. Let's make Kelvin our temperature measurement system. Then we have everyone can complain about how stupid and nonsensical Kelvin is, and yet we don't have to yell at each other anymore. Yeah, I don't get stones. I don't understand. You know what else I don't understand? Why we measure the height of horses in hands. You want to hear something that's apparently happened? Something good that's apparently happened. Yes, I would love to hear something good that has apparently happened. Okay, so this kind of slots in here like this. Is that, am I understanding that correctly? Maybe? Okay, there we go. Let's see here. You'll be stepping out. Well, Lady Valorth, thank you so much for swinging by. I'm trying to measure my contact points here. But thank you again for stopping by. It's been a lot of fun. I hope to see you on your next live stream because I have thoroughly enjoyed watching you build some of your Drukhari stuff together. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, farthings and shillings do sound made up. Luna, you're not wrong. I don't understand it. It scares me. As a dumb American myself, British currency seeks to be the bane of my very existence. Let's see. Okay. Because of how it was done in ye olden days, now hand is a standard 4 inches or 10 centimeters. Okay. Fair enough. WotC apparently gets to deal with their workers getting rights now because now they have a union. That's great. I mean, I still don't like WotC as a company, but it is good to know that they can't just abuse their employees anymore by forcing them to utilize AI, even though they promised that they wouldn't. That is awesome. Anyway, by the way, everybody, if you ever get an opportunity, Lady Valorth Games, I've seen their live streams as they put together their Dark Eldar and such. They make pretty solid content, and I highly encourage you guys to check them out. So they do good work over there. And they're really nice. And they're always chit-chat with me whenever I join into their live streams. So... unlike Final, who doesn't hang out with me anymore, and it hurts my feelings. I say that as he's probably working and lurking in the background. You know what, though? But yeah, WotC has gotten into a lot of controversies as of late when it comes to their AI usage and getting caught using that when it comes to their work with Dungeons and Dragons, which... it is a shame. It really is a shame. That and AI usage in their artwork for Magic the Gathering, too. Just a shame. Just a shame all around. But if there's anything that brightens up my day, it's knowing that these companies were going broke using the AI systems that they had. I forget the name of which companies, but there was one company that had spent so much money on tokens for AI that in one quarter they outspent the entirety's year's worth of profit that they had gained. So now they're freaking out and telling people to stop using the AI that they were shoving down their throat. I say that as a guy who uses AI on my channel for at least my main channel artwork, but that is temporary. I want to one day have enough money to hire an artist to professionally make me my artwork, thumbnails, and stuff like that for like live streams. We'll see if I get there. It was always meant to be a temporary measure. I'm not going to lean into it super heavily. Yeah, sadly, D&D is the biggest pen and paper. You're not wrong, but D&D is on the decline. With the amount of, like, when the open gaming license scandal a few years ago happened, D&D lost a lot of capital and goodwill. All of their biggest creators started to leave their game system and make their own. You've got Drawsteel from Matt Colville. What is it? Daggerheart from the Critical Role guys. You've got obviously, Pathfinder's been around for quite some time. You've got there's actually a ton of new RPG systems that came out since the OGL scandal. Operation Black Flag as a direct competitor. Like, there's just so many, and D&D has lost its pop culture dominance. Now, it's still the top of the food chain. It collapses like these take time, but they're on the out. I mean, at their biggest height, they earned a lot of bad will by firing the entirety of the D&D creative team that helped create Baldur's Gate 3 in conjunction with Larian Studios, to the point that Larian Studios will no longer work with WotC and completely left Baldur's Gate 3 unfinished because they were working on multiple expansions to finish out the game. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily like the business model, but, they probably needed to get the game out pretty quick. They were self-funded. They didn't have a lot of money coming in from WotC. They paid money for the license to Baldur's Gate. They weren't getting paid by WotC to make Baldur's Gate. So, while I don't necessarily like how they went about releasing the game, I understand it. And it was one of the most critically successful RPGs of all time. And they lost them. Larian's gone now. They're not going to come back. And now they're talking about making Baldur's Gate 4, or the next Baldur's Gate game, excuse me. They won't call it Baldur's Gate 4, which is something they've already stated. Instead, they're going to be working on the next Baldur's Gate game, and it's not even going to be an RPG. They are pushing AI tools, scaling back things like D&D Beyond, which is, again, a massive shame, if you ask me. The writing's on the wall for WotC. Their dominance is coming to a massive end. They want to push their AI DM tool, and yeah, I don't think WotC. It's not even on like their major IP anymore. They wanted to make D&D a $1 billion brand, but they barely even talk about D&D compared to their other products with Hasbro, because unfortunately D&D has just lost a lot of its dominion. Let's see. Oh yeah, Mira, you say Pathfinder 2nd Edition, played it once. Sadly, my current group doesn't want to play anything. They just want to play D&D. Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame, but it'll be all right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's because it's familiar, right? If you I've got my group more interested in the idea of playing more number crunchy kind of systems when it comes to like role-playing games or exploring things. They're familiar with D&D. It's relatively intuitive. They don't have to put much thought into learning stuff. But if you find some like decent, like goofy systems that can really get them into it, Paranoia is great for that, or like early edition stuff of Paranoia, or playing other simplified game systems that just do different things. There's what's that one that's like an Ocean's 11 fantasy game? I can't remember now what it's called. Blades in the Dark or something like that. Anyway, there's a lot of really cool systems out there that can kind of branch out to, and other people can kind of finally get a taste of what a proper crunchy RPG is like. And I think it'll happen. Just give it time. D&D has a dominance for a reason, and that dominance is starting to slowly wane, which I'm fine with. WotC's dominance is also starting to slowly wane. I've never forgiven them for what they did to the Lord of the Rings Match of the Gathering cards. That was just blatant political statements left and right on that one, and I do not appreciate that. AI can never be a proper DM. You can't have a party go fully off script and have the weirdest side adventure with that shit. Exactly. Well, I mean, you could. It just wouldn't be good or memorable. Like, the push for AI, despite the uses for AI, that's what bothers me. It's not like it's not like it couldn't work. It's just that it's not going to be as good. It'll never be as good. An AI can't keep things. If you go off script long enough, will forget what the main story of the campaign is, and then just turn whatever you're doing into the main story, which in paper sounds amazing, but only if you're a money-greedy company that wants to push people to use your platform more and more and more. It won't work out in the long run. But anyway, that's enough WotC stuff. Although I appreciate you letting me know that. I'm glad that they're finally getting some of their own comeuppance there. I'm not a huge WotC fan. I don't know if I've made it painfully obvious. But I am very, very, very excited to see what happens on Friday with Games Workshop. I actually had to do a massive deep dive relatively recently. Again, a little bit of a sneak peek on the origins of Games Workshop and their biggest games. So I'm actually very excited to share what I found with you guys at a later date. I think it'll be a rather entertaining video I make on that one. Thank you, Mom. Space Mom says, I secretly don't like potatoes and my favorite color is blue. A decent inside joke from one of my very first campaigns I ever ran as a DM. Talking about shit going off the rails. Thank you, Mother. I deeply appreciate that. And that is one extra piece on this Cogfort done. Let's see if we can't get this. I'm so happy that I'm off so I can watch it. Thank you, Skylar. I'm glad you're here to enjoy it. I have been, like I said, I have been really busy. I missed last week and I felt terrible about it, but I was getting some serious work done on that script stuff. I'm very, very, very excited. And today I should be doing some audio recording with Josh. Fingers crossed, anyway. And then tomorrow I have audio recordings to do with my dad, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see if it works out. By next week, I can have those videos published. But yeah, I secretly don't like potatoes, and my favorite color is blue. That was good stuff. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is at times like this I realize... Oh, no, never mind. I was about to say I realized I am stupid, but never mind. I did it right. Haha! I thought I glued the wrong side of the Cogfort. It would be the first time I've done something like that. Good news is I'm not using super glue today, so I can't super glue myself to my desk again. Or to the model. Or to myself. I have done all three of those things in the same live stream. There we go. Alright, we'll go over this front piece right here and see if I can fill in. There's a very faint seam, and I doubt anyone could see it on camera, and I doubt you'd be able to see it unless you got real close to the model, but I do think it would show up with the painting. So I'm just going to go over it real quick with just a small amount of that sprue goo, because to me it's very evident that it's not supposed to be there as part of the stonework. There's a few gaps here, like there's a small crack here between two stones that could be easily hidden as or explained as a gap in the stone, but like pieces like this where it's a full piece of rock, I just don't think you could hide that well. There we go. Let's see. Luna says I was working a lot last helping to build a new decking and a fence for one of the nurseries I work for out in the heat. Ooh, Jesus. That sounds awful. Well, good on you, though. Miri says, my character's mom is a home-built archfey, and I'm confused... Oh, and I confused the DM with a roundabout question if there was any influence of hers in the... Influence of hers in the R. I'm also gonna harass the over-eager rogue. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I was having a stroke. You said he started combat without us. That's not fun. That's never fun. Cornelia Stark says, I wonder how interesting the project you were working on would turn out if you painted all the pieces first and put them together. You know, funnily enough, I was just thinking about sub-assemblies. I genuinely, I hate painting. I really do. But I struggle with the idea of sub-assemblies because at some point, like, you could just argue that, well, I should just keep everything unbuilt and paint everything first and then see how it comes out. If I enjoyed painting, which I don't really enjoy painting. I enjoy having painted models, which I think is my problem, but I don't enjoy the act of painting itself. Because it takes so long and it's so slow for me. Like, I want to make more progress than I'm making, so then I end up rushing it towards the end. But I bet if you kept everything separate in sub-assembly mode and painted it all separately, how good it would turn out. It would probably turn out really well, actually. Great example of all of this, as I kind of already showed earlier, was... Fuck off, Final. This isn't for you. Did somebody say sub-assemblies? I have learned already quite a bit when it comes to utilizing sub-assemblies for these larger models that make absolutely perfect sense. So, firstly, so far, this is the tower for the Cogfort. It's actually pretty decent sized. We'll go ahead and let me grab this bad boy here. So this is my Knight Errant, again, just for comparison pieces here. This is actually going to be a pretty big model, and I'm very excited to see it all put together. So I've learned a lot with this. So this is my Knight Errant, and I put all the armor plating already on it, and got the pose I really, really wanted, and I've already glued the armor pieces down. Now, it's going to be a pain in the ass to paint all the different armor panels that I want on this bad boy because of the angle that they're all in, and I can't really do anything as far as, like, taking the pose apart to paint them. But what I did do for my very first Knight I ever constructed, which is, you can tell, is nowhere near as dynamic, although I did bend this toe to allow it to look like he's walking mid-step. He is sub-assembled. He's actually still got... This masking tape is years old. But he is in sub-assembly. So, for example, you can tell there's no armor plating on him. He's also very magnetic. So, these all come off. Gun, while tight, comes out. It's got magnets in it to hold him in place. So, this is actually not that bad. I could paint the frame. I wanted to paint the smokestacks here, make the reactor look really, really good. And then I have all the armor plates over here. So I've got, like, the carapace piece here, which you could tell it's got a nice color scheme. I've already painted the wires. So this was actually really easy to paint because it was in sub-assembly mode. Problem is that I didn't do that with these. So obviously, this is going to be a lot harder to paint. The Preceptor I showed earlier is kind of a hot mess because of that. So, we'll see. But I'm stubborn enough, I'll get there eventually. So, I'm not overly worried about it. But in theory, you could do the same thing with keeping everything separate and painting it separately. Use some kind of complementary color approach for each piece, whimsical and trippy, I bet. You know, you could. You absolutely could. Miri says hi, Final. Cornelius Dark goes back to different for each piece. It probably come out looking like plaid. It could, in theory, look a little funny, depending on how drastic of a change you go to. But honestly, it probably wouldn't look that bad. I mean, if you're doing like stuff like stone, you could keep the philosophy the same here. But it could probably look pretty good. It would be an interesting experiment for sure, and I might try it on some models I don't really care that much about as far as like wanting a specific look for. Not that I wouldn't care about making it look good, but like this, I have a specific design philosophy for what I want to do for it, and I want it to look cohesive compared to the rest of my army. So, you know, that in and of itself, that could be an interesting experiment to try. So. Wizard needs a good color wheel for this sort of thing. Let me tell you. You want to talk about an interesting color thing? Mom, you should look at the Deck of Many Colors, a project that was started and kickstarted by a YouTuber by the name of Ninjon. Deck reference colors that have about 5 colors on each card and artwork from actual artists that let you do literally just that, which could be rather interesting. I probably should invest in something like a color wheel, though. But it would be an interesting experiment, though, Cornelius. I think it'd be worth a shot and at least see how it turns out. Okay, let's see how. So I need to get C17. C17. Well, this is A. This, as far as I can tell, does not have a letter on it. Oh, it does. It's B. Why is it every time I'm about to say this doesn't have a letter on it? I find one. I'm like, nope, I just look like a dummy. Have I not seen your color cubes? Yes, Mother, I've seen your color cubes. This is specifically for mini painting is what I'm talking about. I've told you about this. I saw the same guy had color cubes in the background. Okay. What do I need? 17. Smaller piece. Aha! This one right up here. That says Sigmar on it. Okay, there we go. Cut that piece out. This is actually really, like, I love this freaking model so much. So much. Alright, Final, since you're kind of somewhat here occasionally, are you excited for the summer preview show on Friday? Alright, Ma. Cornelius Dark says, sounds like you're inviting me into your white van. That's funny. Weirdly enough, my mom has her own hobby stuff that she does. She like makes her own like cards, like birthday cards, thank you cards, that kind of thing. There's weirdly a lot of crossover between the hobby space and that. Final, you're kind of 50-50 on it? Oh, wow. Well, I didn't know you could be 50-50 on something Warhammer related. I'm shocked. I'm shooketh. Excited to see the new models, but my wallet is worried. Yeah. Well, do you have any idea? I have speculation. Did you know that they're announcing a new army at the summer preview show? A new AOS army? I'm very excited to see what they do. I have my sneaking suspicions. They gave a couple of hints that I'm like, it could go one of two ways, but I think it's going to go a specific way. For those of you who are not aware, the summer preview show is coming up on Friday, the GW Summer Preview Show, where they're going to show off new models, new rules, games for all their game systems, except Warcry and Lord of the Rings. And in it, they announced that they have a new army coming. There's a new Blood Bowl announcement coming. But the new army, the hints that they gave were greedy and always hungry for more. So, for those not in AOS circles, it probably doesn't mean much to you. There are two ways I think this is going to go. It could go Slaanesh. They kind of have been leaning pretty hard with a new character in Slaanesh that's around gluttony anyhow, which I could see new Hedonite stuff coming out. But the one thing that got me was the always hungry for more. There is a faction within Warhammer Fantasy that is about hunger and devouring and eating and greed, and that is the Ogre Maw tribes, which are still rocking models from first edition. So they could be getting a new expansion to their range or range refresh, which I'd like to see that. I think that'd be rather interesting to see. So it could be Ogre Maw tribes that get new models, which I think would be rather interesting. I still would be shocked if that's the case, because we're still rocking some old world models for some factions within AOS, and that boggles my mind that we're still rocking old world sculpts, but it is what it is. I just moved my AOS stuff over to my new place, and I probably need to have a tag sale. Well, how goes packing for the move? Is everything going all right? I hope everything. Well, I know you've been busy as of late, which is why I haven't seen much of you. But yes, Ogre Maw Tribes may be getting some new stuff. I am still holding out hope that we see for next edition. Maybe not launch, but definitely within 5th edition, I hope to see the Shadow Elves. They finally... We still have not seen the Shadow Elves. They're a major player in the lore, but they have not shown up themselves. So, we shall see if that is a thing or not. Skylar Productions says, message retracted. So far, so good. I've been trying to balance packing everything up in content creation. That's, yes, well, I'm really hoping, I've been checking out some of your new stuff. I'm really hoping the move goes smooth for you, man. You know, if you're unable to make it on Thursday, you just let me know. I've got enough pages worth of content, so I don't think it matters too terribly much. Man, 7,000 words. It's so long. It'd be great for ogres to get some new models. I agree. Ogres need some new models. They have been, sadly, of all of the destruction factions, they have been neglected the most. That, and then you have the Sons of Behemoth, which are a potent faction, but alas, also kind of been a little dejected. Okay, so then we kind of just bleep, and then... Come on now, get in there. Oh, it's because I have to trim this off. Let's see, well, I gotta dip out for today. It's getting late out here. Well, Mary, thank you again for swinging by and saying hi. I really do appreciate it. It's good seeing you, for sure. Did they say there was a new army to be announced? Yes, they did. There's a new army. It was in their Instagram preview for the summer show. It was like their teaser with the two guys sitting on the beach. Yes, they said, and that new army coming out for AOS. And then one of them says, I can't wait to get my hands on that new army. What the other guy says, greedy. And then the first guy goes, well, you know, greedy, have you even built your Cogfort yet? And he says, you know me, I'm always hungry for more. And that was the hint before they cut to the summer preview show, like, logo popping up between the two of them. So, yes, new army coming. I have a feeling with the hints in the context, it's probably going to be Ogre Maw Tribes. For sure. Are you streaming during the reveal show this time or still doing work? Skylar, see you later. If you're talking to me, I'll absolutely check you later. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If not, if you're talking to Miri, don't worry. Am I streaming during the reveal show this time, or is it still during work? Well, unfortunately, not only is it during work, my work day has actually been pushed back later in the day. I have a training class I have to go to at the end of my day at 3 o'clock. So they have me going in at 8. So I will unfortunately be unable to stream during the show. But hopefully I can actually make a quick little video reacting to the new announcements and give my thoughts and feedback. That's my hope, anyway. Alright, let's see if I can get this in here. I've got a lot of sprue goo. Oh, nope. Nope. Get out of there. Get out of there. There we go. That's better. God bless it. I was talking to Miriam chilling in the office. That's fair. Son of a bitch. Why are you not working? Not you. Okay. And that snapped off because that never... Of course it would. Why wouldn't it snap off? Wouldn't be Zach building a model if Zach didn't screw something up. Alright. Try this again. Okay, I think I got that. Holy crap, that was rough. What the hell is happening? Jesus. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so you said you were talking to Miri. Excellent. You're just chilling in the office. Great. Luna asks, is this a bit off topic, but has anyone seen the new Avatar The Last Airbender film? My response to that is, there's a new Avatar The Last Airbender film? Okay. Where are you, A? Okay, let's see here. I think my problem here is I have not built the piece for the bottom. That is annoying. So I glue both the A15s together, put that down on the bottom. That'll provide the stability that I need. If I hurry fast enough, I don't have to worry too much about the sprue goo drying. We will see. More A15. Okay, I saw the chat. It's got more messages. Give me 2 seconds. Yep. Let's see. I'm hoping to build my new land speeder. I feel that pain when I was building my chaplain on bike. I have not seen the new Avatar film. I didn't even know there was a new Avatar film. I haven't checked that Avatar in a long time. I haven't even seen Legend of Korra, although I have a feeling I won't like Legend of Korra. That's because I got really into the lore of Avatar The Last Airbender. Me and my brother watched it recently. It's so good. The animated Avatar movie. So there is a new animated Avatar? Huh. I have not checked it out. If it's good, I'll check it out for sure. I haven't heard anything about it, so I didn't even know there was even one coming out. So I will need to keep an eye out and check out some reviews. Okay. All right, let's trim off this bottom piece here. Get this sprue gate cut down. All right. Hopefully, this will provide the stability for what I'm trying to glue down. And hopefully that sprue goo hasn't dried too much. Why, there's also the live-action Avatar film. Unless you're saying that that doesn't even exist and there is only the animated film. In which case, I agree with you. It was kind of bad. And by kind of, I mean incredibly. Whatever M. Night Shyamalan tried to make doesn't count. There it is. There it is. You are correct. You are correct. That was bad. Okay, we'll just take that there. Put glue on those tabs, and then Hwacha. Which also is the name of an ancient Korean weapon. The Hwacha. Okay. Got a seam here on this metal plate, so I'll just dab that up with a little thin sprue goo. Tamiya ultra thin, and we'll just... Okay, so I've got a lot of globbing going on here, and yes, that is the technical term, globbing. I don't know, I made that up. But it sure sounded impressive. Okay, so... Gotta scrape that down a little bit. Okay. So then we'll just do... Oh, I don't think so. Start cussing in an accent if I don't. There we go. That'll work. Nice, snug, tight fit. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's movie was really bad. Sorry about that. Had to get like real technical there for a second. Getting the Cogfort put together. Yeah, it was really bad. It was really bad. I also, like I said, I didn't watch Legend of Korra, but I couldn't get past the first episode because I tried when I was younger. The whole I'm the Avatar now, deal with it at 2 years old really kind of just got to me. I was like, you won't tell me a 2-year-old is able to master not only the art of waterbending, but also earthbending and firebending, the opposite of her element, but the one that she's going to struggle with is air, and she did that at 2 years old? That's crazy. You crazy. Ain't no flipping way. Aha. Do not. Okay. Gotta get some glue down in this seam, because, aha. I see my problem here now. But with that base on the bottom of the tower, it actually does make this a lot more stable. I wonder if that's why they put that at that step in the instructions, instead of me trying to jump ahead like a freaking idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever feel bad because you don't feel confident in your model building or your model painting capabilities, please keep in mind that these live streams are done for your benefit. You want to see a grown man struggle and look absolutely incompetent at everything that he does for about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. Anytime he gets on and tries to live stream him building or painting, that's what these are for. You can now feel better and rest assured that you have more skill and patience than an absolute dumbass on the internet. At the ripe old age of fucking 32. Holy shit, and I can't read fucking instructions to save my life. Insert joke about being a man here and not reading the fucking manual. Okay, let's see here. Aluna, I see your message. I will read it in just a second. I'm just trying to make sure this don't go nowhere. Okay, alright. Me and my brother watched the original show about 20 times. I love the original Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was such a good show. I don't think Legend of Korra, from what I did see about it and all the reviews I watched, I don't think it understood the legacy, and I get it. The original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, they were involved on the show for The Legend of Korra. I get that. They also had a lead writer who actually like came up with a lot of the storylines and made the show successful that wasn't there for Legend of Korra, and I think it shows. Are we doing this right now? Are we really? I'm having flashbacks to my childhood of trying to build a Space Marine drop pod in. Ma, is Pops' house really that bad? I'm sorry to hear that. There we go. Okay, let's get that glued down a little bit. See if I can't. Okay, so I think I've got it measured out enough. What the fuck? Give me the fucking piece already. God damn. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this now. Alright, so I'm going to spill sprue goo on my desk. We're going to put some sprue goo down on this piece. Alright, measuring this Cogfort has been a pain in the neck, but I think this is going to fit in there just snugly. And I can go in back behind the piece and reinforce it with more sprue goo. Now, if I'm not careful, this will make a ton of mess all over the desk. Long, stringy bits of plastic. Not fun to clean up, especially since they show up in the painting stage. But they'll melt if I can find it and hit it with some Tamiya. This is going to be a struggle. Okay. Half my problem is... There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can get this in here. So this tab is right there. Okay, push that up against the tab. We're good. Now we'll just kind of squeeze the Cogfort together against that sprue goo. Push that piece in just a little bit. I've got fingerprint texture on it, damn it. Okay. Okay, so we'll get that held there. We're just going to hold this like this for just a little bit, everybody, and hang out. How you guys doing? You doing all right? You guys having fun? Finally, you get around. I will have a great stream, brother. Man, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you on Thursday, but let me know if you can't make it. Okay, bye. Ma, you said you were exhausted and just had very little help this week. I'm really sorry to hear that, Ma. I really, really am. Son of a bitch. Okay, set that with some Tamiya. See if I can get rid of the texture I've accidentally put down. Okay. I think that'll do it. Okay. Alright, so I got that there. Next up, we got these small gaps between these wooden panels that are driving me absolutely fucking insane. Push that up just a little bit. Boom. Okay, push that there. I think we'll be good here. Get rid of the AI slop thumbnail. That's fair. You know what? I understand. I just don't have, currently at the time, any money to hire an artist to create a decent enough thumbnail with the character that I've tried to create. But in general, it is in the works. If I can get the money for it, believe me, I will be getting rid of any of the AI in it. In the meantime, I just ask that you're patient with me, and then hopefully you can engage with the content, which is free from AI slop. Unless you believe the rumors that I myself am actually just a giant elaborate AI. Okay, we'll let that dry for just a second. I am very curious here. So hopefully everything's going well. This Cogfort is actually, going, I think, quite well. Looks good so far. Got some nice, some texture there. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Oh, well. It's got a huge gap in here. Huge gap in here. That's not fun. It's going to take forever to fill that in. And I still have to get the tops on, and I don't know how I'm going to get the tops on this pieces in here. There's Space Mom, ladies and gentlemen. Spell checking every hater commenter that comes into my live streams. Thanks, Ma. Let's see here. Does it help? Does it help if I vouch for birthing a giant noggin of yours to prove you weren't AI? I don't know. You'd have to ask Final, but Final left. He was the one that was telling everybody I'm actually just a giant, elaborate AI persona that I don't actually exist. Everything AI gen, and I love olives and Tau, according to him. I will never forgive him for the damage he has done to my psyche. He's a good friend. But he spreads horrible rumors and lies about me. Hey, if you're gonna be a troll, at least be correct. Well, that's fair. And then my wife confirmed it. Yes, she did confirm it. You are correct, Luna. She did confirm that I was an AI. It's a conspiracy against me, I swear. Well, as you say, if people want to come in, say hi, and tell me that I'm trash for using AI, at least it's still engagement. I'd prefer people come by and at least enjoy the content at the very least, but if people want to swing by and say hi and tell me I'm a douche for using AI in my thumbnail, it'll be okay. Besides, we're all here to celebrate the hobby as it is anyhow, and that's what really matters. And we're all here because we're fans of Warhammer, whether it's 40k or AOS, and I'm very excited to see what GW does moving forward with the entirety of Warhammer, AOS especially. If they announce the new Ogre stuff, it'll be a very exciting time for Ogre players. I don't know any of them. Theoretically, they exist. But still, I'd be happy for them. Be a good time for them. I myself, I still want to see Umbreneth. I want to see Shadow Elves. I think that'd be really cool to see. I'm sure... I'm convinced it'll happen for 5th edition. I mean, it's the perfect time for it. A new faction to be unleashed. I even have a theory that what's going to happen is they're going to announce the... I don't know how many people here are AOS fans. But there is a faction in there called the Lumineth Realm Lords, which are based off the High Elves. And they have 2 gods that rule over the Lumineth Realm Lords. And that would be Tyrion and Teclis, characters from Warhammer Fantasy. And we have Teclis. Teclis exists. He's a model you can purchase. And the Lumineth Realm Lords are themed around Teclis. But we still have yet to see Tyrion. And I think seeing the Tyrionic hosts of AOS would be really something to see. So, my thinking is if they release... oh, that's half my problem. I've got sprue goo all over my hands. I think if we see the Shadow Elves get released, Teclis and Tyrion hate each other's guts. So I think we see the Tyrionic hosts of the Lumineth Realm Lords, and I think we see the Umbreneth get released, and I think they're going to go to war with each other. So we'll have a model expansion for the Lumineth range, as well as the Shadow Elves, and I think that would be really cool to see. We'll see if it happens. Because there's woefully very little lore for the Lumineth at the moment. The funniest part about people going onto videos and streams that they don't like to hate means they'll only be shown more of those things. There is that. I mean, I actually get quite a few comments about people telling me, they call me AI trash, or they'll tell me I need to get rid of the AI slop, and I get it. There's a massive pushback against AI, and there's a massive pushback against people who use it, and I get it, right? You got video game companies going out there pushing AI and making games almost entirely by AI, and only to be shown that they're not good. You've got videos that are like 6-7 hours long that are made by AI, then they're not very good, and they talk about lore, and they kind of obfuscate and make the lore side of the hobby very unappealing, if you will. So like I understand why people are so vitriolic against it, and I don't blame them for it. I am using AI as part of the channel. I did it to create a thumbnail and a character. I don't have the ability to hire an artist. I don't have the artistic skill myself to create what I want to create. And so AI for me is a great tool because I'm not taking a job from an artist. I can't afford an artist. One, I'd love to get away from the AI stuff. And you know, I guess considered a nuanced take. I don't like the prevalence of AI all over the internet at the moment, and people using it like the end-all be-all of things. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I think it's bad for creativity. But I also think it's a tool that can help people and can be used responsibly. And, you know, I'll ask you this: if anyone's out there who doesn't like AI, I encourage you, please come on, and at least tell me I'm wrong. But like the thumbnail, I don't think hurts it very much. It's not very appealing, you know, generally speaking. I get it; it's AI. You can look and see the imperfections in it, but you know, if I could afford an artist, I would, and make that so much better and make it so much more cohesive. And who knows, maybe I'll get to the point where I can one day, but as it stands right now, it's not really something I can do. You know, it's not within my wheelhouse to get done at the moment. I'd love it to be the case, but it's just not. Is there... yeah, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to push this really far in to kind of make it fit. But I can get it. So that's supposed to sit much further in like that than it currently is. And then... aha. Okay. That's going to be annoying. I got to figure out how to make this fit to make it look almost like a perfect circle. Push that out just a little bit. But Luna, you are 100% correct. If you engage with things you hate, you only get promoted things you hate. It's a double-edged sword. Okay, Bubs, I think the contractor's almost done. I'm going to dip and go home. I need recliner time. Well, Ma, thank you for swinging by and hanging out with us. I appreciate it. I know everyone likes seeing Space Mom. So, thank you so much. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Hopefully you get some good relaxation time in. Alright, I think I can get this here, so I just gotta push that in a little bit. Damn it. This is gonna be tricky. Yeah, okay. Alright, we can do this. Goodbye, Ma. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully your rest of your day goes by much smoother and you can get some relaxation time in. Alright, so we got some pretty good good stuff there. I don't know if this is gonna necessarily fit here. How tight is this supposed to be? It doesn't actually show how tight that's supposed to be. Alright. Come on. See, the YouTube algorithm doesn't know that these people are hating on these things and will only and on these things all it sees that people are clipping the videos or leaving comments. Exactly. And it will only hurt them in the end because they want to hate on content. And I get it. Again, there's a lot of reasons to be vitriolic towards AI. I mean, AI naturally is trained off of stolen content, which I get, which isn't great. AI is also pervasive and lowering the quality of a lot of content around on the internet. So, like, I understand why people are so against the use of AI in general. I get it. But at the same time, I feel like it's just, you know, I don't know. It's just a bit much. that I mean, I'm not doing anything mean or taking people's content away. I'm not doing any of these horrible, awful things that's happening with AI. I'm not contributing to the downfall of the quality of content either. None of the content I put out there is in any way, shape, or form generated by AI. It's just it's just the thumbnail I use and the picture I use for my channel. It is what it is. It's also here to stay. It's not going to go away as much as people want to hate on it, and I get it. Believe me. So, you know, it'll be what it will be. There's not much you can do about it, and people like that who just come in and leave a hate comment and then leave. It is what it is. Also, I found most of the people who actually come in and hate on content like this tend to not be real accounts. They tend to be pretty bot-like, have very few in the way of any kind of like subscriptions of their own, have very few in the way of like subscribers of their own, and they just kind of come in and hate and then they leave. Okay, well, I mean, if it is what it is. And that's okay. I try very hard to let everybody know that everyone's entitled to their opinion and everyone's opinion is valid when it comes to stuff like this, because there's a lot of nuance out there. For what it's worth, I'm also just really grateful to my own subscribers who want to come in and hang out with me anyway. That's what this is all about anyhow, is hanging out with you guys. Is you guys make it worthwhile to just chill and talk about this wonderful, wacky, grimdark world that we all love. All right, making some pretty good headway here. Just gonna patch a couple of gaps in here. Nothing crazy, but I've got a few. Okay. I got a lot of Sprigo on that part there. Need to just thin that out. All right. Well, I am very excited to see. I've been looking forward to it. I'm actually getting pretty amped about getting some of my Age of Sigmar models built other than the Cogfort. I've been working a little bit on some paint scheme ideas for some other models that I've been working on. This is one of them in progress, actually, the Malice Forge Priest. I think I've got a pretty decent enough little recipe here for the Gambeson colors and all that I've been working on with this guy. Very, very interesting so far. I'm going to have to do some black trim around here on the edges. And then, of course, I've got the yellow up here for the wood on the character. When you combine it, this is the hard part that I've been working with here, is this piece with the hand and the amulet. The chain actually broke off. But once I get this combined here, I'm going to glue and work on the skin tone recipe. And when that's done, I'm going to go over and do the metal here. But this is actually starting to look really solid. The other one I've been working on is my Grenadier. I haven't done too much to it. This is the second time I've had to paint it. Because I just didn't like the way the yellow looked when I started doing washes and shading on it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the yellow alone, and I'll just dirty it up with flecks of brown, like for the texture sponge, and then just go over the rest of the model. So I got to figure out the paint scheme for this guy, but I am working on him as well, which is nice. Luna says, though it is concerning that we seem to be going down the dark 40k timeline IRL. Yeah, I mean, look, we all live in very uncertain times right now. You know, we live in a world where conflicts around the world are escalating. We live in unprecedented times. That's why I think it's important more now than ever for people's mental health to just find hobbies like this that they can get into and find communities of people that they just get along with, you know? Luna, I'm sure in real life, you and I, we would be very, very different people, and we probably wouldn't necessarily care for one another's company. But you know what? We both love this hobby here, this universe of 40k or universe of AOS or whatever Warhammer thing there is, and that's what binds us together. And I think that's the really cool and very powerful part of hobbies and communities like this. We may never have interacted in person, not just because of vast distances, but because of differences, whether it's political, religious, racial, whatever it is, right? We're very different people with very different values, but we can both agree, you know what's just really freaking cool? Playing with tiny little plastic army men. And that, I think, is the important thing that we need to remember. And in times where maybe we start to feel stressed out or we start to worry about the state of the world, we just remember that we have a community of people out there that we get along with and we enjoy the same things and come together that way. I can put aside my political differences or my religious differences with anybody, as long as we have something that we both genuinely care about. And I think that's the important thing that people need to remember in times like this when people start to freak out. That even though we have differences amongst one another, we have enough similarities that we can find common ground and build from that common ground. C38, that's the next piece I need. Good news, I already know where that is. There we are. Okay, so for this piece, we're going to go to the under part here. Now, this piece says it's supposed to glue in... Where exactly? Here? Back a little ways. So it's somewhere in this region here. So I think... I can't hold on to this long enough. If I can hold on to this piece long enough to actually check it. Okay, so it can kind of go in here anywhere. That's fine. Okay, that's fair. Well, let's trim this piece down just a little bit, and we'll see if we can't get the Cogfort put together. Okay. So, it looks like this piece doesn't get glued in unless you want to glue the ramp in, because it can be slid up under the door, or it can be pulled out. That's a choice. Do I preserve that kind of mobility? I'm kind of the opinion you don't. I'm kind of the opinion you just glue it down and call it good. And I think that's what I'm going to stick with. But the question is, do I have it glued down in the extended position, or do I have it glued down in the retracted position? And that is a tough question to answer. And it's going to go about there. Okay. So, okay. Well, let's hit this with some glue here, and we'll hit it on the other side. Okay, so we'll put that about there. Fun fact about me, even though I don't really look like it, I'm actually mixed race. Really? That's actually fascinating. That is a fun fact. I didn't know that about you, Luna. Fun fact about me, I am incredibly overweight. Although I have lost a lot of weight here recently. I've managed to lose about 50 pounds, which is nice, and I just got to keep up the hard work. And then I'm there. We'll just cut that back a little bit, which is something that I'm actually rather proud of. And I'm glad to hear that, Luna. I'm learning more about you. That's awesome. Okay, so for this piece, I need C39. Okay, so that's this piece right here. That's the drawbridge piece right here. So we'll just go ahead and snip this bad boy out. And this is going to be a tricky one to snip out, because it's got spikes on the front end there. Because of course it does. Congrats, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You see, a little fun fact about me. I have stereotypically overweight. I have struggled my whole life because I like to eat food, and that's kind of like the hard part about me. Now, I've fallen off a little bit since my honeymoon. I need to get back onto it and properly be back onto it with a diet, and I've been going on walks more often. One of the big things for me is that I'm a huge soda fiend, which I don't think I've hidden that on this channel at all. But one of the things that I really like Coke, and that's my big avenue. I've tried to quit it multiple times. You get addicted. I got addicted to it. I mean, I love Coke too much. I got diagnosed late last year with type 2 diabetes, which I did to myself. Now, mind you, I had just gone over the edge on type 2 diabetes, so I got put on medication, which includes some GLP-1s, not Ozempic, but, you know, Mounjaro, and I started eating healthier. I started eating far more salads, heavy on the proteins, cut back on the carbs. I didn't do a lot of sweets to begin with, but I definitely cut back on sweets just to be safe. And between the combinations of all of that, I ended up losing about 50 pounds, and my type 2 diabetes has gone into remission. My A1C is back into normal ranges, although I still get checkups every now and then for, you know, making sure that my blood sugar is doing fine. I never got to the point where I needed to be testing my blood sugar levels ever. I've gotten rid of my soda entirely. I now drink, I say soda entirely. I got rid of drinking full sugar soda. Growing up, I had an aspartame allergy, which is unfortunate because that's what most diet sodas are sweetened with, is aspartame. I ended up drinking enough Coke Zero slowly over time that I've managed to develop a little bit of a resistance to aspartame, although if I overindulge too much, I can still feel the effects. And yeah, I've actually, like, that diagnosis last year was one of the best things that ever happened to me, despite the fact that at the time I was consigned that I basically killed myself. I'm not gonna be able to fix this. But while the option was still on the table, while I could still choose between the two, I always fell back on doing what I wanted to do. And now that I don't have that option, I don't have that luxury anymore, it actually ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to me. By removing the choice of being able to indulge in that kind of stuff, I have managed to get in a healthier state than I've ever been in, which is great. I have more energy. It's fantastic. Luna says, yeah, I'm part Indian. That's actually fascinating. I did not know that, Luna. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I greatly appreciate it. And then we have iSqueam says, hello, builders. What's going on, Squeam? How you doing? Good to see you. Glad you to be here. I greatly appreciate you swinging by and saying hi. Just putting together a little Cogfort today. Bit of a celebration. I didn't stream last week. I typically try to stream on Wednesdays around this time. I start at about 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. I started a little early today because I didn't get to go have lunch with my granddad since I've got some medical obligations I have to go to. I got a puppy getting neutered today. But I was off last week because I'm working on a big project, and I thought, hey, my first live stream back after making massive headway on my project, I am going to go ahead and build my Cogfort that I've been waiting very patiently to construct. Aha! So that's what... Okay, alright. I like that. That looks good. Just starting on the Vanguard veterans from your Armageddon box? Well, firstly, that's awesome. I'm glad you had the Vanguard, the Armageddon box. Vanguard veterans are great. Love Space Marines. I am a little known fact. If you're going to be a face around here, I am an unabashed Imperial simp. I mean, unabashed. Imperial troops are my jam. I'm an avid collector of Imperial Knights, as evidenced by my Knight Castellan legs right here. But so glad to have you. Thank you for joining in. You picked a good day. Like I said, I am celebrating my return back from my week off last week by constructing my Cogfort, which I'm super stoked for. I've got a little while longer, about 40 minutes or so before I have to go. I got to go pick up the puppy. So I am, but I'm having a blast doing this. This is out with you guys. This is always so much fun. So that's the main body pretty much finished. Don't know why I'm yelling at you guys. My apologies, but I got the ramp finished there, so I am very excited for that. So Cogfort's looking pretty good so far. I guess the next major portion of this is to start constructing the tower. Now, one thing I am slightly concerned with is the legs. The legs, I am notorious for trying to custom build stuff, and the legs are 2 half pieces, so I won't be able to cut one leg and adjust the height of it as necessary, so I can't adjust the height on 2 separate legs independently, which does frustrate me ever so slightly, just ever so slightly. But that's okay. Wait a minute. I shouldn't even glue that down yet. I don't even have the legs on. Yeah, that ramp's not gonna work. I can't glue this down until the legs are on. Boy, am I glad I stopped myself there. Whoo, that would have been bad. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go ahead? Why don't we go ahead and just construct the legs then? Let's just do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's construct the legs, and then I can glue the ramp down, and then I can do the top turret later. Because I don't think I'll have time to finish the top turret today, but I could probably get a few of the legs finished. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get that knocked out. Ice Cream says he's lurking and building. You know what? I'm glad to have you, brother. I'm glad to have you here. Or sister. I don't judge. I say that. I don't know why I said that like I was joking around. I mean, I don't judge, but... Let's see here. We're going to do... So I need 43. That's 42. 48, 47... Okay. So 41, 42, and then 43 is the chain. Okay, let's do it. I'm actually very excited. I need to come up with a name for this bad boy. My biggest problem is that my heraldry is a stag. And it's not like you can get a stag... or stag-themed... Actually, you know what? I didn't even know if that's true or not. Let's find out. Because the decals on this bad boy are really where it's cool. Because you can actually make your name. Hound, Griffin, Raven, Hammer, Maiden, Warden... Okay... Okay... So we got Crimson, Trusted, Death, Olgu's Blade, Golden, Last, Dark, Bastion, Heish's, Iron Shield, Beast, Steel, Silver Brass, The, War, Stone, Valiant, Lion, Goliath, Hound, Griffin, Raven, Hammer, Maiden. Yeah, there's nothing stag-themed or nature-themed in here that I could really utilize, but that's okay. I could probably... I might get something work. It doesn't matter. That's not that big of a deal. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Let's finish cutting out this piece. So coming up with a name for the Cogfort will actually be really interesting. What I need to do is get a hold of some decal paper, which actually you can get readily available and use in any laser printer. So I'm thinking about getting some decal paper and printing my own decals with it, and I think I can make, as long as I have the measurements and the type of font, I can make my own names, which will be fine by me. Because unfortunately, I can't just leave well enough alone. I can't just ever build anything that's part of like the existing universe. I have to come up with my own custom stuff, because I think it's important that people come up with their own custom stuff when it comes to this hobby. It provides a greater emotional attachment, and it kind of gives you a little bit of ownership of the world, and I think that's just important. So for me, I go with stags. Instead of worshiping Sigmar, the god of nature, Tal from Warhammer Fantasy, who is still around in AOS, as a very minor deity. And so I can go with like Tal's Chosen, or the Antlers of Tal, or whatever I want to come up with. I think it'd be a good name. Homebrewing is part of the fun for some. I encourage everybody to get involved in homebrewing. It doesn't have to be great, and it doesn't have to be as intimidating as some people make it out to be, right? Because some people make that out as intimidating as painting, right? Especially people who are new to the hobby. It used to be a very major and important part of the hobby. It used to be like expected that everyone would build something homebrewed. And it's actually only a relatively recent phenomenon with Games Workshop that they've kind of veered away from the homebrewing side of things. And it's a shame that that's the case. But I understand why Games Workshop did it. I don't like it, but I understand it. And it's a business decision. They want people to buy more of their own models. So they kind of implemented this philosophy of if there is no model, there is no force. Right? But that's come back to bite them in recent years, with the Armageddon Steel Legion not being shown in the Armageddon trailer for 11th edition. To the point that they're actually now, even though they tried to push people like, you can make your own Armageddon by painting the Krieg under these colors, and here's how you do it, they're actually going to be making an Armageddon Steel Legion kill team, which obviously is very, very early in the works. But they announced it at Adepticon, and they showed off the very, 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 very beginning stages of that artwork. But they kind of push people to believe if there is no model, then there is no force. It doesn't exist. And now with 11th edition, with them saying that they're putting a bigger emphasis on narrative, and they're putting a bigger emphasis on player creativity, that they're kind of bringing back homebrewing. And I hope that's the case, because it is such an important part of the history of the hobby that I think it would do you a disservice if you are super into it and you never do it. So a 43 and 44, so I need chain pieces. But yeah, I think it's great. I think homebrewing is great. Every faction I ever create is homebrewed. If I paint my own Space Marines, they're homebrewed. If I paint my own Knights, they're homebrewed, and they are homebrewed. Oh my god, are they homebrewed? I've spent far too many hours working on their lore for Knights that aren't even painted yet. Who knows? I may make a video talking about homebrewing and why it's important, and some basic steps to help people who want to homebrew. That might be a worthwhile endeavor. Okay. Got that one there. These sprue gates on these chains are not that bad. Just gotta be careful how much I trim off. There we go. Okay. So, we've got big knob there, little knob there. So it's going to go like that. Ah, there we go. Yeah. That'll look really good. Tamiya there, and we'll put the Tamiya on the other one. Now on these, I find it's better to put the paint, or not the paint, the glue on the nubs and not in the pockets that the nubs go into, because it will prevent less, I don't know the technical term, splooshing, I guess. But it usually works out pretty darn well that way. Nice. Okay, So then we do the same thing for the other side. So it's going to kind of go, do a dry fit. And we'll just glue the chain pieces together. That's sprue goo. Almost made that mistake for the 11th time today. Put a good amount of that glue on around the outside, and then we'll do the same thing for the back nub here. Kind of fill that whole untextured square. And then we'll go ahead and fill this in right here. Now you can tell I've trimmed more of the plastic away on this side because it kind of sticks out a little bit. You can't really see on the camera, but it sticks out a little bit down here, but it'll be all right. With enough Tamiya, it'll have a nice, strong bond. I'm not overly worried. I'll go back over it on the top. And that is basically one leg done. Now, this is the leg that's going to be on the rock. So it says for A45. And that's this bad boy right here. So we'll go ahead and cut that foot out here. A45. And then we'll cut this last piece right there. Boom. Looking good. Now, there's a lot of detail here. And you can see there's some rubble around the toes here and here. So we'll need to be a little careful cutting the sprue gates. We don't want to have any texture left over, but I don't want to carve into that because then it'll leave nasty gouges in it. And while it's a relatively minor detail, I think it will show through more in the painting process as a more jagged edge, and I don't want that. Okay. Trim out that sprue gate on this toe. Really simple. And I don't care to do mold lines on big models like this. Smaller models, kind of, but big models, they're pretty well hidden, I'd say, for the most part. For this one, there's a lot of rounded edging for the to attach to the ankle joint, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the receptacle so the glue splooshes out a little bit and gets on the ball attachment for the socket. And I've got some sprue goo sticking up, artifacting at the top there. So we'll just cut that down. And that is a leg. A leg that attaches... it attaches down in here. Haha! Perfect. Okay. Next up is C46. Okay, let's do it. C46. That's A. That's B. C. There it is. Okay. So we've got the rock here. So this is going to be the Captain Morgan leg, essentially. So we'll go ahead and trim that down ever so slightly. Okay. I'm going to dangerously cut the sprue gate towards my thumb instead of doing it the smart way because I haven't cut myself on live stream long enough. I'm not entirely certain if that's honoring Khorne or not. I mean, Khorne cares not from where the blood flows, merely that it flows. So if I cut the tip of my finger, is that a form of pleasing Khorne? I don't know. Somebody tell me. Okay. Okay. And that's how it fits together. Pretty seamlessly, actually. In theory, I suppose I could do it without using this rock piece, but there's enough of the earthy texture that I'd be worried that it would look odd if I didn't do the rock piece. Ideally, I do this, and then I would also do it to another leg. But like I said, the leg isn't posable in that kind of way. It's just two halves that get squished together. So I think it kind of defeats the purpose. I want to be able to have this piece, this central log piece that's in this brace, for the height, so I could build that another leg to do the exact same thing. But I suppose it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. It's a slightly bothersome that you don't get that opportunity. Okay, I'm gonna glue the chains together just so they stick together pretty easily. And then this bad boy will get glued together like so. Now the question is, do I glue it in now or leave it separate? My gut instinct is to go ahead and glue it now so I can have the full piece together. I think I'm going to leave it in sub-assembly mode and just do all the legs separate, and I can just paint these separate. Paint all of this detailing in here separate, and then I can just come in later and then just plop whatever I want in there. There is still an unseemly gap here. Okay. Maybe the issue for this, because it doesn't, I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but there is a very nasty gap between the stonework and this wooden frame. I have tried my best to fill it in with this sprue goo. It is not working the way I wanted it to, and I'm disappointed by this simple fact. So we're going to try this again. Try this one more time. I've got a lot of sprue goo on that applicator. Now, the trick here is I want the sprue goo in the gap, but I don't want to get too much of it in my Tamiya, because now, not that you can tell too much, this Tamiya is actually starting to cloud up now because of all the plastic that's in it, because it used to be, when I started this live stream, crystal clear. It's not that big of a deal. Tamiya, it's not going to be affected by that necessarily. It's just clouding up because of the amount of plastic I've put on it from the applicator from this point of view. I think that's going to work. I think that'll work right there. If that dries, that shouldn't leave that big of a gap. There's a little bit of gapping going on this side too, so we'll go ahead and touch that up while I can. Just get that just like that. Again, make sure I clean up some of the extra stuff. Nice AI slot profile picture. Thank you, U-Bot. Appreciate that. If that's the only thing you have to say about the content, or the quality of the content being discussed on stream, that's fine, but I appreciate the engagement either way. Yeah, there it goes. I figured. I touched the sprue goo. I should have done it, but I did. We'll just touch up that texture a little bit. Yeah, okay. Well, nice. Okay. Got the texture there. That'll work. That'll actually look pretty good. Cogfort's actually coming along, guys. I managed to actually get some decent work here out of the Cogfort. It's looking nice. I think it's coming along quite nicely. I don't know how much more I'll be able to get done today, unfortunately. I do have to go and get my puppy. I gotta go pick him up. So, hopefully I'll be able to get some more done later. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I want to say to everybody, firstly, guys, thank you so much. I'm sure your models are fine, but any artistic ability is gone because you're using AI. Okay, that's fair. If you want to go that way, we can go there.
the truth of the matter is I'm not a traditional artist in the sense that I can create my own artwork for the channel. I'd love to be able to hire an artist. I just don't have the capability of doing so at the moment. My plan is, if I ever get any money, personally or YouTube, either way, I want to put money towards getting new profile pictures, getting new thumbnails created, so that way I can get away from AI. But I don't know that any particular, like, just the use of AI in general has any impact on my own artistic ability. I don't have the skill necessary to create the profile picture that I want or the thumbnails that I want, though, and I agree with you. I don't think that they're that good. But, I don't think that has any impact on what I'm currently doing, and you could call the profile picture slop for sure, or the thumbnail slop for sure, but it has no bearing on the quality of the content that I'm producing here on the channel. I don't use AI in the use of videos. I don't use AI music in any of the videos that I utilize, so just don't use it and pull a pic off Google Images. Sure, I suppose, but I like the picture that I have currently for the vibe that I'm going for the channel. Listen, you are more than entitled to your opinion on that, and I don't disagree with you. I don't like the pervasiveness of AI on the platform as a whole, but I'm not using it to write scripts. I'm not using it to narrate videos, and I'm not putting up 6 and 7 hour videos for like lore dives that are dropping the quality of the channel down. I am, however, utilizing it temporarily until I can actually afford to get an artist for the channel itself. So, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I appreciate your feedback, and hopefully in the next couple of years, if I actually have the time and the money to get it done, I can get a new profile picture up and it shouldn't be an issue anymore. Hello, babe. How are you? What's wrong? Okay, that's fine. I love you. Well, everybody, I do appreciate you guys. Just here to say that your AI slot profile picture is gross. Man, I have managed to somehow piss off 3 individual people today by just live streaming building a model today. This is hilarious. Look, I'm sorry. Thank you for swinging by and giving me your opinion. I don't necessarily disagree with you about the use of AI. However, I can't afford an artist at the moment, but the second I'm able to do so, the profile picture and the thumbnails will be going away. Anyway, thank you guys for swinging by today. Unfortunately, I do have to leave. I got to go pick up our puppy from the vet, so I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you enjoyed what you saw, I appreciate leaving a like, as it does help the channel out quite a bit. If you didn't enjoy what you saw, thank you for swinging by, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out as long as you have. So, I'll catch every one of you guys later. Ta-ta.